Okay, so today we'll be talking about the new Qwen image model and why people are so excited about it. And just so you know, I'm not going to compare it to older models. Instead, I'm going to compare it to itself. We're starting with the Q2 model and moving all the way up to the Q4 model for both the base GGUF and the Distilled GGUF. And then we'll also see how those stack up against the Fp8 version, which, by the way, is a 20 GB model. Now here's what I'm using for testing. It's my basic workflow, but I've added a few enhancements. I'm using Sage Attention and the Free Up RAM node just to make sure everything runs smoothly. And, of course, I've got my trusty LLM in there because I'll be testing everything at once using the exact same prompts. For the models themselves, we've only got 3 for both Fp8 and GGUF. Now, the Qwen image model needs to go into your model's Diffusion models folder. The GGUF version goes into the model's UNet folder. The Qwen 2.5 VL model for both Fp8 and GGUF goes into your model's text encoder folder. And finally, the VAE. I'm using 2 versions here, one GGUF and one Safe Tensors. Both of these go into your model's VAE folder. Before you even touch the workflow, you need to update ComfyUI to the latest version. Once it's updated, restart it. Then drag whichever workflow you want to use straight into the ComfyUI workspace. I'll be giving you both, one with the LLM and one without. You can pick whichever works best for you. Now, before we start generating anything, let's talk about the difference between the regular workflow and the distilled version. The distilled models run with a CFG of 1 and their steps can go as low as 10, which also means no negative prompt. I'm going to bump the steps up to 15 just to give it a little more room, and honestly, that doesn't really affect generation time much. For the Fp8 and base GGUF models, I'll keep them at 20 steps. Alright, first test. I'm starting with a layered, dense prompt for this one. If you want to pause the video and read the prompt in detail, go ahead. The first prompt I'm feeding the LLM is simple. I just want to see if it can follow instructions exactly, especially for subject placement. The prompt is, 2 beautiful ladies, one blonde and the other brunette, on the beach in summer wear with water-soaked t-shirts walking onto the shore. The one on the right has the word sneaky written on her beach top, and the one on the left has a t-shirt with the word robot. And right away, I can tell Qwen image isn't super comfortable with layered prompts. So from the next test onward, we're going to stick to a more standard prompt format. Now, the Fp8 image looks amazing. The LLM did tweak the prompt a little bit, nothing huge, but we'll keep an eye on that. What I'm really looking for is how the smaller GGUF models compare to that Fp8 version. The Q2 model, honestly, not bad at all. But my bet is still on the Q4 version. The distilled models are interesting. They're exactly the same size as their base GGUF counterparts, but they're fast. And that's because they don't use a negative prompt. This has pros and cons. Speed and usability are the pros, but the quality definitely takes a hit. You can improve that quality by increasing the steps. And here's the weird thing. Even with more steps, it's still faster. Sometimes I feel like the distilled model is running on some kind of dark magic. I even got the Q4 distilled model to run on an 8 GB GPU. That's basically black magic. Now, there are some mutations in the Q4 distilled output. Again, because there's no negative prompt. I tried running it at 15 steps just to see how low it could go. And 15 isn't really a great number. At least not without a LoRa, which we don't really have for this right now. The closest match in quality is still the base Q4 and Q3 models. For the distilled versions, the Q2 and Q3 are where things start to get more usable. Okay, so next I still want to check subject placement. But this time I'm going to use what I call a normal prompt. Here's what I'm going to feed into the LLM. A futuristic cityscape divided into 5 vertical zones, each labeled at the top with neon signs reading TechCore, Biohaven, Sky Market, EcoGrid, and Dust Sector. This is the prompt the LLM gave me back. And here's what I'm paying attention to in the results. First, subject placement. Are there actually 5 vertical zones? And do they each have distinct architectural styles? Second, complex text generation. That's the neon signs at the top of each zone, each one with its unique name, TechCore, Biohaven, and so on. Third, prompt adherence. Basically, does it do exactly what I asked for? Are the zone-specific styles and the text rendered correctly? Fourth, complex realism. I want hyper-realistic lighting, reflections, environmental detail, the kind of polish that makes the scene feel cinematic. And finally, art style. I'm going for cyberpunk here, with cinematic lighting and a wide-angle view. Now, looking at the Fp8 version, I can see it really tried to follow the prompt, but instead of giving me 5 vertical zones, it only gave me 2. And the text placement? Out of sync. Let's check the others. Funny thing, the Q2 model actually nailed it. 5 vertical zones, each with slightly different architectural styles, and the text sitting neatly at the top of the buildings like I asked. The Q3 version, though, it did exactly what the Fp8 did, only 2 zones. And the Q4 version, well, it decided to treat the whole prompt like a poster. The distilled versions are way off. I think it's because I'm still running them at 15 steps. The Q4 distilled version is at least closer to following the prompt, but it's still not quite there, which makes me think, maybe it's not the model's fault here. Maybe my prompt was just a little too much for it. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Here's what I gave the LLM. A surreal courtroom scene with animal lawyers seated left and right. Above the judge's bench, 2 banners. One reads, Lex Natures in Latin, the other, Justice for All in Japanese. The LLM gave me a shorter prompt back, which still gets the main idea across. But it doesn't really tell the model exactly where everything should go. The only solid piece of placement information is the text above the judge's bench, which means the model has to make a lot of guesses about where the rest of the scene belongs. The results, the Fp8 version, nailed it. Perfect subject placement, banners right where I asked for them. And here's something I've noticed. Qwen has a level of consistency that a lot of other models don't. We do have a little human hand poking out where it shouldn't be, but overall, the image looks great. For the base GGUF versions, the Q2 does follow the placement instructions, but it struggles with rendering some of the animals, especially the owl. The Q3 almost gets everything right, but completely removes the bear. And the base Q4? It just decided to merge the owl and the bear together. And that little stray human hand? Still there, persistent little thing. The distilled model, well, it just completely ignored my art style request. Instead, it gave me something in a watercolor storybook style. But honestly, it's still beautiful. It gets the concept across, and interestingly, the Q2 distilled version actually followed the prompt the best, which is just weird, good prompt adherence but lower image quality. So now, for one of my favorites. This is the one where every model delivered, and I really want to figure out why. I gave it this prompt, an elemental battle scene. Fire god on the left, ice god on the right. Above each, a glowing title, Infernos and Glacialis, with floating runes around their bodies spelling power, wrath, calm, and endure. Here's what the LLM gave me back. And let's break this down, because this prompt is a great example of why it worked so well. It starts with a clear statement of what the image is about, an epic clash of titans. Then it describes the first subject in detail. A colossal fire god wreathed in volcanic flames, embers swirling around a title card above reading Infernos in molten script, runes of power and wrath etched in fire orbiting his form. Then it moves to the second subject, describing him just as clearly. Mirrored by an ice god, a towering figure of glacial ice and biting frost. A glacialis title shimmering above in frozen calligraphy, runes of calm and endure carved from ice crystals circling him. And this is how you prompt for Qwen image. Just talk to it. Tell it exactly what you want. Be as clear as possible about every important element, but do it in plain language. If you want a vase next to a bed in a dark room with an elf sitting in a lotus pose on the bed, then describe it just like that, and then go on to describe the rest of the room and where everything is placed. That's it. As simple as that. At least that's my take on it. Looking at the results, all the base GGUF versions did great here, and it's because the prompt was so clear. Same goes for the distilled GGUF versions. The Q4 distilled even seems to shine a little more in this case. And we'll talk later about the best settings for all these versions, so you can get results like this consistently. For the final test, we have what I think is a perfect example of a prompt that's both good and bad at the same time. Here's what I gave the LLM. A museum wall with 5 ornate frames. Below each extinct creature is a plaque with its scientific name, Thylacoleo carnifex, and a poetic description, the silent hunter of vanished lands. Now, here's what the LLM came back with. You can pause the video if you want to read through it slowly. It's not as specific as I would have liked. It tells Qwen Image that it wants 5 ornate gold frames hanging on a textured beige wall. So far, so good. But here's where the problem starts. It says, inside each frame, a hyper-realistic paleo-art depiction of an extinct creature. And then it just lists the creatures. That's basically it. And that means Qwen is deciding the sequence for itself. It might match the order you had in mind, or it might just make up its own. And when that happens, pairing the plaques with the right images becomes a gamble. We're kind of assuming the model will just magically know what belongs where, and that's a risky bet. This is why I think it's better to take your time and describe each part of the image in detail, one by one, so you get exactly what you want. You'll see what I mean in a second when we look at the GGUF models. As for the base GGUF model, it's just doing its own thing. And the distilled models fell short completely. I'm leaning towards saying that's more the prompt's fault than the model's fault here. But I will say the base Q3 and Q4 did pretty well. Still, there's one thing all of them messed up, and that's the plaque. None of them got it right. So what do I think about Qwen Image overall? Honestly, the hype is true, but yeah, there's a but. I've seen a lot of complaints on mine saying the model isn't as good as advertised, and then others saying it's the best thing they've ever used. The funny thing is, both groups are actually right. Here's the best way I can explain it. Think of a Ford F-150. It's the same truck, no matter which version you get, right? But each variant gives you a completely different driving experience. The person with the Raptor? They're having a far better time than the person with the XL base model. The XL has a 2.7-litre V6 basic interior, just enough to get the job done. The Raptor V8 premium features all the extras. And the starting price? Literally double. Same truck, but not the same truck. That's exactly what's going on with Qwen Image. The base model is 40 GB. The Fp8 is 20 gigs. The distilled models even smaller. I don't think when they trained Qwen Image, they expected people to judge its quality based on the smallest possible version. Even the Fp8 is literally half the size of the full base model. So yeah, if you're running the 40 gig version, you're probably seeing some of the best image generation results you've ever had. If you're on the Fp8 20 gig version, you're still getting good results, but you're not seeing the full potential. And the GGUF models? Even smaller still, it's like comparing a Formula 1 car to a Toyota Camry. The Camry's never going to win the race, but it'll still get you from point A to point B. Slowly, sure, but you'll get there. Okay, enough car talk. The point is, Qwen Image is an amazing image generation model. It's just a shame that what it's truly capable of is out of reach for the average person's hardware. But what we can run. Honestly, good enough, well, at least for now. There's also some good news. They're already working on an image editing model, and that's going to be exciting. So, which version makes the most sense for you? Well, that depends entirely on your GPU. For the Fp8, you're going to need at least a 24 GB GPU to run it comfortably. For the base model, just make sure you've got at least 4 GB of RAM more than the model size. So, for example, if the model is 8 gigs, you want a GPU with at least 12 gigs of RAM. The distilled models are a bit of a wild card. Like I said earlier, black magic. I got the 11 gig Q4 distilled model to run on my 8 gig GPU. Don't ask me how. But always aim to have slightly more VRAM than the model size, because even your browser, yes, Chrome, I'm looking at you, can eat more than a gig of RAM on its own sometimes. Anyway, thanks for sticking around for what mostly turned into a personal rant. If you enjoyed this and you want more tutorials like it, make sure you like and subscribe to Sneaky Robot. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!